Hi, I'm Carmen Jackson and I'm a minority. Doing this little project while I'm going to talk about being a minority. So go ahead.
Okay. What nationality / race are you?
I'm half black, half white, mixed, biracial, mulatto, whatever you want to call it.
That's cool. Describe your family.
Well, my dad is black and my mom is white. They have been together since middle school. And my mom is 54, my dad's 55. And he has a big family, 9 siblings. So, and all of them are, married to different races. Like my mom's brother's married to a Korean woman who my Korean family is like really close to me. So like it's United Nations basically. Yes.
What's the earliest memory you have of being taught about race?
Well, in preschool, I remember learning about the civil rights movement, and I remember just thinking, oh, that's so cool, I wanted to be black, And so I went home and I remember telling my mom about what I learned, and she said, "You're African American." And I was just like, really? Awesome. But like I had no real connection to what that is. So,
Growing up, were you or your family ever discriminated against?
Sadly, when I read this question the first time, I came up with a huge list. And, but I'll just name a couple of things. Like how in high school my mom was supposed to be valedictorian, but she didn't get it because she was dating my dad, who was black. And, they gave it to somebody who had a lower GPS than her. And another story would be that when my parents were first dating, they were in college and they were walking in their in Buffalo where they used to go to college, and they were holding hands, and somebody who was driving by started screaming racial slurs and stuff, really mean stuff to them, and it really scarred my parents that like they still to this day don't hold hands in public.
Wow. Crazy. How did you feel coming to a predominantly all-white school?
Well, at first I was just like, oh my god, I'm the most unique person here because I stand out, I thought it was cool. But then I changed my mind. Because it's just, you don't really have someone to identify with, and it's something that's such a huge part of my life. It's part of a huge, social identity of myself is who I am, my race, and there's just no one that I could identify with. And so that was not great.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh. Okay, so did you have many friends? What were they like?
Well, it took me a while to make friends, but when I did, I was friends with the 2 other black kids who went to school with me, and yeah, there was a new black girl, there's my 2 black friends, and the new black girl that came in, it's like automatically we accepted her into our group of friends because she's black. It's just, the first day we introduce ourselves, and it's just, we know we have like our set stereotypes. I guess it's pretty bad, but that's how it was. It was just the black kids, the Hispanic kids, and the white kids. It's so segregated.
Wow. And there's not like a lot of Hispanic or black kids, right, that went to your school? So.
Not a lot, no. It's
so
very,
you guys
very
could just
white.
You guys could just share a table.
Yeah, we shared a minority table in the lunchroom. Literally. It was me and my 3 black friends, and then all of the Hispanic kids from the city or somewhere. They didn't come from Pine Plains. We just shared a table, and it was literally like the 1950s.
Wow.
Okay.
Like the Breakfast Club, kinda.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, cool. What period was more difficult for you? Elementary school, middle school, or high school? And why?
Well, in terms of racial problems, high school was definitely the hardest because I feel like people were more aware of the racial differences, and like the segregation, the lunchroom, what I just told you about. And I remember another lunchroom story. I remember sitting at lunch, and there's this white girl sitting, like, kind of close to me, and she said something like, yeah, she was a black girl. And then she looks over and goes, sorry. Like why should I be offended by that, you know? I don't know. All right, go ahead.
I've heard that before. That's so
happened?
sad. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so, as an adult, have you ever been discriminated against or felt you were treated differently because of the color of your skin?
Well, that's funny because the color of my skin really isn't that different. I have light skin. I'm a really, really light-skinned black girl. I have this theory that if my dad wasn't black, I would be a full-blown ginger. So with my skin color, I haven't been treated differently, but I have been treated differently because people see me and they assume that I'm Hispanic. So people will ask me to, like, what's this word mean in Spanish? And I'll be like, I don't know. Like, so, I mean, at that aspect. But when people find out that I'm half black, I feel like people treat me differently too because they have to act a certain way, like they, you know, the whole yo, 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 you know, or something like ridiculous like that, you know.
Slang.
Right.
Has anyone ever used racial terms towards you?
I remember one time when I was babysitting this really, really horrible child. And we were at the beach, and one of the lifeguards was someone I went to school with. And she asked me a question. She was just like, are you sure you're half black? Because you look really Puerto Rican. She kept saying, like, she was just like, you look really Puerto Rican, are you sure? And I was just like, I'm pretty sure I know what I am. And so the lifeguard heard this conversation, and he said, like, oh, she's a dirty Mexican.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember, like, I was just really distraught at that comment. Like, just, you know, from all sides, like, just denying who I am, because I'm half black, and saying, like, being a Mexican is bad too, you know?
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, it's something that really stood out in my life.
Was this in Pine Plains, too?
Yes, it was in Pine Plains.
Of course.
Pine Plains Beach.
How can you explain the use of derogatory terms between people of the same race? Like when black people call each other the N-word, it's okay, but when a white person says it, it's not okay.
Well, I definitely do not speak for all black people, but I'll tell you my opinion. I feel like words give meaning the way we use them. Like, people say the N-word, nigga, or nigger, it's a huge difference, but, like, I don't feel it's different that way because if you say the N-word in a malicious way, I'm going to be offended. People are going to be offended by that. But if you say it and you know that you don't, like, you're not racist or you don't mean to offend someone, then it's not bad. Which is why when black people say it, you know they're not racist towards black people. And when white people say it, it's like, you know, I don't know if you should be saying that right now unless, like, you're friends, you're cool with them. So it is just a word, and it depends on your intentions.
Definitely. Okay, so have you felt that people have changed since you were younger?
People have definitely changed. I mean, the world, it grows, it progresses as time goes on, and mixed people are taking over. We're taking over the world, so you're gonna have to get used to it.
Okay, so how do you feel about having a black president?
I'm ecstatic. It's amazing. I mean, not even that he's black, but he's biracial, like me. It's awesome. I think it's great. It shows how we've improved, even though there's a lot more improvement to do. I mean, some people who are racist say, like, this person is the exception to the rule. This is a good black person or something like that. So it doesn't really explain that we're not racist anymore. We definitely still have a lot more to go.
What would you like to accomplish / be when you are older?
Well, I'm a political science major, and I have no idea what I want to do with that, but I love politics and social problems and stuff like that, so I want to join the Peace Corps after I graduate from college and then see what happens.
What is your hope for the future for minorities / people of different races / color?
My hope would be for race to just be irrelevant. I hope that everyone just becomes mixed. I think everyone should find someone of a different race to marry. We should just embrace our differences. I feel like that's what makes America so great, is the diversity that this country has. And I feel like we shouldn't be tolerant, but we should have acceptance. I feel like tolerance is something that, you know, you tolerate like a cold. We have to have acceptance for people who are different. And I don't want to be cheesy, but I'm going to end with a quote. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The arc of history is long but bends towards justice." And I feel like that's perfect for the discussion on race and racism, is that as time goes on, people are just going to become more and more open-minded, and it bends towards justice.
Thank you, Carmen.
You're welcome.